Welcome viewers to Let's Play US Combat X2 Joint Assault, a PSP game released in 2010 by Namco Bandai, and it's also the second release on Sony's PSP system after Skies of Deception. And it's also the first installment of the series, of the long-running Ace Combat series, taking place in the real world. Masanori Kato, its producer, is also work on the first Ace Combat, Air Combat on PS1 system. This game features more than 44 aircrafts. Most of them are real, some are invented, and we will use all of them during the missions. Okay, let's dwell in the main campaign. We can use operators during the mission.
Hey there, Antares. Michael Arena here. I'm going
It's basically a voice that updates on our status and gives us orders.
Hello, Antares. I am Corporal Sarah Anderson.
We can also choose between English and voice acting. For the first mission, we'll be using the English one. And we'll be sticking with Michael Arena. Joint Assault, it's also the first Ace Combat to feature co-op play. Unfortunately, the rooms for multiplayer are always empty, so I can show you right now. We'll just be playing a single player campaign, beginning with the Midway Island. We'll be playing at Ace difficulty. This game features four difficulties: easy, normal, hard, and Ace. The only differences is that it's more difficult to play, and enemies will deal more damage to us. Other than that, it's nothing fancy.
Listen up, Martinez Security M42 Squadron. This is your company leader, Frederick Burford. Here's your briefing for the upcoming mission. It's a joint military show with the 7th Fleet and SDF in the Pacific near the Midway Islands. Martinez Security has been given special permission to take part in this military exhibition. This is almost unheard of for a private military company, which speaks well of our reputation. But I don't intend on being satisfied with just that. Show them exactly how good we are. We also have a new pilot joining the M42, call sign Antares. They say he's a great pilot with military background. I hope we can put his skills to good use. That's all. Prepare to deploy.
Okay, as in, I think almost any other Ace Combat will be playing as a lone wolf, usually a mercenary. For this game, we will be Antares, and those are our allied forces, and this is us. For our first mission, we'll be flying with the St. Louis Slugger, aka the F4 Phantom II, a twin-engine long-range supersonic interceptor developed by the US Navy. It was first introduced in 1960, so it underwent the Vietnam War and also the Arab-Israeli conflicts, and as of 2012 it's still active. More than 1,500 of these units were produced. Nice shot here. Also, the paint schemes are real, as you can see by those photos. With this game, they were aiming with a very realistic approach. Also, a new gimmick: we can choose between multiple weapons, still standard and secondary weapons, but between them we can choose multiple type of them. For this mission, we'll just use the standard type of standard and secondary weapon.
Antares Squadron, launch. Call sign on Terrace. Do you copy? This is Burford of AWACS Canopus. This will be the first time we'll be working with you, so I'm eager to see what you've got.
Hey there, Antares. Michael Arena here. I'm going to be your operator. We're military, but we're PMC. Let's do away with the formalities and just kick some ass. To start things off, let's have you challenge 5 UAVs. With your skill, this will be a piece of cake.
Hey,
Captain Plemoni, sir.
mission briefs are supposed to be brief. How much hand-holding do we need to do?
Easy there, Roger 1.
Enough talk. Let's go.
This is also the first S-Combat to have a full-blown introductory mission.
Let's start with the basics. Lock onto a bandit and destroy it with a missile.
Locking on targets, it's done automatically by the game, and we can launch missiles with the circle button.
The container is red, you're locked on target.
The beeping sound you're hearing means that we are locked on our enemies.
On to the next.
And if you keep pressing the circle button, the camera will follow the missile trajectory.
You may want to ease off the throttle.
For this combat, in the interviews, Masonori Kato, the producer, stated that they were aiming for what they call an enhanced combat view, basically improved maneuverability for the aircraft.
Think about his background. That was very superior. He could be annoying, but he's got skills.
It usually works, the enhanced combat view, but in certain missions, crashing into the field, it can be helped. You'll have a chance to see what I'm talking about in the next missions. I'm not crazy. For this mission, I swear, nothing bad will happen.
Aim for the TTT mark. Switch targets and shoot it down.
Won't have time to think during your combat.
Sorry, boss.
Destroy the
And usually in the Ace Combat series you have a lot of details concerning the aircraft. As you've seen while we were changing our trajectory, you've seen the missiles beneath our aircraft.
is a mission like any other.
Bandit has entered combat zone.
Also, for being a PSP game, it features a nice view. And this is our first and only ace for this mission. Each mission features one, and if we take him down, we will unlock new weapons and new paint schemes.
Radar switch. Enemy down.
Falcon has excellent mobility. Standard missiles won't work for this one. Switch weapons and use QA.
We just reached our secondary weapon, the quick anti-aircraft missile. A more precise and agile version of our standard missile.
All targets down.
Impressive, Antares. Next, we're scheduled for a joint training session with the 7th Fleet and Self-Defense Forces.
Burford, to the east.
Huh? What's that?
No response on IFF. Bogies incoming. Possibly hostile.
Antares, our code sign, means against, anti, Ares, the Greek god of war. When I hear Antares, personally, I always think of a crazy-ass Chinese manga, Solar Lord. And those are a lot of boogies.
All airborne M42 units. We've got company. Unidentified armed forces have entered our airspace. Their main force is heading west, but a number of them are engaging our allies here. We've ID'd these bogies as bandits. 7th Fleet has asked us to...
Military names are so strange. Operator, do you hear me? We just identified some nasal mucus. Yeah, most of them disappears immediately. So we'll just have to take down just a few of them.
Let's finish this and
Also for this entry on the Ace Combat series, for the soundtrack, I think they were aiming for a more orchestrated version of the for the musics. The soundtrack features various music genre, and I'm pretty positive it features music from all Ace Combats, in particular Ace Combat 2 and 3. I don't know, I can't recognize the musics because I didn't play them. So if you recognize them, let me know in the thread.
No enemies in sight.
All bandits down. Good work. The 7th Fleet and Self-Defense Forces have not taken substantial damage either. And Terrace, you did good out there. We're grateful to have you on our team. But just where did those bandits come from?
Colonel, incoming transmission.
What? We just received word from the 7th Fleet. The bandits are heading towards Japan. They're planning on hitting Tokyo. We need to rendezvous with the 7th Fleet and help defend the capital.
Next stop, Tokyo, Japan. Nice view. Time to save. Yes. And time for the replay function. You can choose between multiple camera angles, front, rear, 360 degrees, third person, missile, and you can remove the HUD with the square button. It's a neat feature. If you feel being the new Tony Scott, I guess you could probably shot a few Machinimia with this feature. Class attention, time for the debriefing.
Things took a nasty turn for your first mission, but you handled yourself well. Both Rigel and Antera Squadron, good work. However, hostiles are headed for Tokyo. We can't rest on our laurels here. We need to stop them from reaching their destination.
And at the end of each mission, we'll be prompt with a debriefing. We'll be giving a rank. We just got a B. And we will have to pay for our repairs for our aircraft and also the weapons we used. And since we took down the Ace, we got a new coloring scheme and new weapons. Cool beans! And I guess for today that's it. Next time we'll be flying over the skies of Tokyo, and until then, arigatou gozaimasu and sayonara!